going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about my ultimate guide for unlocking the Dark Aether and all new schematics in MW3 zombies. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and also as a reminder, we got plenty of brand new coverage going up over on detonated.com, expanding on all the content you're seeing here on the channel. It's been an absolutely insane launch for Season 1 of Modern Warfare 3. Plenty of information going around for multiplayer, Warzone, and even zombies. I want to thank all you guys for the support on my crazy 11+ hour stream that I did earlier today. Went over the patch notes to start off the stream. A lot of you guys in chat showing support, and then we hopped into zombies, did a lot of Easter egg hunting for the crazy update that we got over in Urzikstan. A lot to get through here in this video. Please refer to timestamps down below if you guys want to skip to specific topics. But one thing I want to say as a bit of a starter for the new zombies update here in Season 1 is that I cannot recommend 6-man squad assimilations enough. I mean, it really did improve the pacing of how we ran through both the Dark Aether and the Elder Dark Aether, which is a hardcore version of the brand new space. Definitely run decoy grenades or monkeys if you can find them in the environment, and I'd recommend healing aura or ether shroud as your field upgrades. In terms of weapons, obviously I'm aware the crossbow and pistols did receive a nerf, but still are useful against a lot of the heavier bosses that you'll see in the Dark Aether, and maybe even run an LMG with a ton of ammo on it. If you can go ahead and max pack or max upgrade that weapon, could definitely come in clutch. As far as wonder weapons go, if you max pack a ray gun, it could do you some good, not necessarily in the Elder hardcore Dark Aether, but maybe against some of the weaker enemies. And the Scorcher could definitely come in handy if you guys want to just jump out of a certain area and get back into the air. That's probably the best use for it. But as far as like a VR11 or a Wonder Waff, feel free to use what you'd like, but the Waff could maybe help you with some big trains, could stun the zombies. The VR11 is not something I've been able to use as of yet, but I'm sure if you guys out there have used it, you can leave some feedback on how good it was down below in the comments. Now, the first part of the Dark Aether update today involves Act 4, and there's only one mission for Act 4. Regardless if you completed Acts 1 through 3, you are able to go into Act 4 straight away. Now, if you did complete Acts 1 through 3, I'm happy to tell you guys that that certainly prepared you for what we're about to talk about here in this video, and should have set you up with a pretty decent stash to go ahead and take on some pretty tough zombies. Now, with that, the Act 4 story mission can be accessed straight away. You go ahead and notice a bad signal exfil icon on your tac map. It'll be in the same location every single game, unlike other exfil spawns. Now, I really recommend being as prepared as you can before going into this exfil, whether it means pack-a-punching 3 times, upgrading your weapon the best that you can, or even spawning in a friendly dog by finding flesh around the environment and providing that to a doghouse, maybe even in a tier 3 zone. That dog could then revive you while in the Dark Aether. And yes, when you go into this Dark Aether exfil, it'll take you to a different server, a separate match from the one you were just in over on Urzikstan, but be as prepared as you can be with ammo, with your perks. No need to rush this, so make sure you guys have absolutely everything you need as a squad. Once you're inside the Dark Aether, your goal is to break 4 different seals, which are all marked for you here in the environment. When you go to your attack map, you can't exactly see the environment as if there's a counter UAV, but you can still see exactly where the seals are located here in this Albagra reskin. Now, the zombies themselves kind of feel like tier 2-ish enemies. They're really not that difficult, but you still want to be prepared. They're certainly not tier 3 zombies, which is good, but what you want to do is break these seals in any order that you can. You want to go up to each seal, you do a little animation with your hand, and all you have to do is kill zombies next to the seal. You'll notice that there is an ammo mod icon on each pedestal, and each time you finish a pedestal, not only does it progress the narrative, as we'll talk about in a second, but also will provide you with a hint as to what you'll be needing for a separate Dark Aether quest that we'll be breaking down deeper into this video. So you'll see ammo mod icons like Brain Rots, Cryo Freeze, Napalm Burst, and you'll even see one for Deadwire. But while you're going ahead and breaking these seals, or quote-unquote defending these pedestals, you'll be going ahead and killing tons of different zombies. You get lots of spawns with Manglers, Disciples, Mimics, might even be a Mega Abomination roaming around here and there, so be prepared for anything. But some of these pedestals are in somewhat tight spaces, so give yourself as much space as you can. You know, lure some zombies out, throw some decoys, make sure you watch your teammates back while they are reloading, and do everything you can to go ahead and kill the zombies as quick as you can. You'll notice that there's like a ring or a mist around the pedestal itself. You want to make sure the zombies are being killed in that circle and not outside of it, or else it will not progress the rest of this quest. But once you've broken all 4 seals, it'll ask you to leave the Dark Aether, in which you'll then encounter the Giant or Gorgant boss. It is a crazier boss fight than what you encountered during Act 3, in which you also faced a giant worm. This boss fight could get crazy. I wouldn't really recommend this on solo or even with just 2 people, unless you guys have absolutely decked out weapons and you're just zombie fanatics, absolute veterans. I'd recommend going in with minimum 3 people, right? Try to assimilate with a bigger squad if you can. So as a giant worm does spawn in, you know, throw some decoys to get some zombies off of your back if needed. Shoot his mouth before he eats players. If he eats a player, he'll just spit him right back out and it'll insta-down that player. Tear. He'll also do an attack where it'll launch you straight into the air, also insta-down you. He has a laser attack, which can also insta-down you, so you see the reoccurring theme here, right? You can really quickly take all of your health from you, so make sure you utilize the ammo caches around the environment. Watch out where he spawns. There'll be a little intermission every now and again where he'll disappear for a good like 40-ish seconds or maybe a little bit longer, in which you have time to take out the zombies around you, gather yourselves as a squad, you know, reload, whatever it is you have to do. Hit the purple parts of his body as much as you can. I've also heard that gas grenades still are fairly effective, even though they did get nerfed with the Season 1 updates. Gas grenades still do some damage on him. Now, while we were streaming earlier, a really strange bug occurred where I grabbed an insta-kill, and again, the Scorcher comes in clutch here, because if you can fly to some of the obstacles and some of the vehicles that are kind of just floating in the air, you can grab free power-ups that are sitting on those. Managed to grab an insta-kill, and for whatever reason, the giant boss just insta-died. I'm not sure if that's a bug that dealt with the insta-kill, or is it a coincidence we also had a friendly dog in our game? Did that dog insta-kill him? Not really sure what happened there, but it's obviously a bug, not intended. So if you guys get lucky with an insta-kill and you could just one-tap the boss, then congratulations, that's probably going to get patched soon. But there's also little spaces underneath Al Bagra that you can run into in case you need some cover from not just the giant worm, but even some of the zombies. You can kind of just run down that corridor that leads to some tunnels, and again, just make sure you train the zombies correctly, or you can use that to go ahead and reload before you get back into the fight to help your friends. So once Giant Boss has been defeated, he will drop a locked diary, which is a very important pedestal item. It's an artifact that is absolutely necessary towards re-entering the Dark Aether again after you complete the story mission. And then once you go through this portal and pick up any other rewards that are on the ground, it'll play a cutscene, which I posted on the channel a couple of hours ago. That is going to be linked down below. But if you guys are like, wait, DK, how do you then re-enter the Dark Aether outside of the story mission? Well, luckily there is a way to do that, but it involves a bit of a quest. So right near the Dark Aether story mission rift that I just showed you, there will be a tornado and a bunch of rift pedestals, 4 to be exact. The description of the diary that you just grabbed from defeating the boss in the Act 4 mission does mention its icy nature, which helps us determine that it belongs on the cryo freeze pedestal, as you will see right here. So that's an item that belongs to this specific pedestal and this one only. Keep in mind, this diary that you have can be exfilled with. You can actually go ahead and unequip it from your stash and just keep it in your inventory at the menu and bring it into another match when you're ready to go ahead and re-enter the Dark Aether again. But this is one of 4 artifacts that you need to place on these pedestals. The other 3 are as follows, right? You can pick up these artifacts in any particular order. We then have a security camera. So these items obviously were just seen as you guys went ahead and broke the seals in the Act 4 mission, and we're looking for them again here in the environment around Urzikstan. So with the security camera, you're going to need the dead wire ammo mod. You can either bring it from the menus if you have the recipe, or if you find that around the environment, such as in the infested strongholds or the Aether nest. You could find it, I think, just even in the fortress, sitting in some of the random chests. You'll see ammo mods pretty frequently around the environment, but with my luck, I'll never find dead wire when I actually need it. I'll find every other one. That's probably your experience too. But what you want to do is take dead wire on any weapon of your choice, and you want to shoot a harvester orb with that weapon, and you notice that it turns gold. Now make sure that if your other teammates are going to help you shoot this orb, they also have dead wire on their weapon. If not, you have to be the one to go ahead and continue shooting this orb until it explodes. Don't wait too long, because it'll eventually disappear or despawn, as you guys are probably aware. Once you've shot this orb enough and it explodes, it'll drop a purple security camera. This is actually not the camera you need to put on the pedestal. You need a golden one, similar to your golden diary that you just placed, and here's how you go ahead and do that. So what you want to now find is an Aether tear, or a portal, which won't be on your attack map unless you drive near it, and they're usually on the outskirts around the map. I'll try to put a attack map on screen if there is one of where they could potentially spawn. There are a fixed number of places they could be, but they're randomized in every game that you play. Once you find an Aether tear, you want to make sure you fly through it while having that purple security camera in your inventory. Once you do that, you'll notice that there is going to be a colored Aether tear that's also in the air, similar to the Outbreak Easter egg we saw for Cold War. So with this specific artifact, you'll see an orange tear, or it's orangey yellow, as you'll see. You want to just glide your way to that one, and once you do that, it'll spawn in a purple bounty contract. What you want to do is grab that contract. It'll spawn in a special elite enemy, go up to that enemy, knock them out, and it'll then drop the golden variant of this artifact, which in this case is going to be a golden security camera. We have similar steps for the other artifacts that we need. So next up, we're going to be looking for a pill bottle. Now you need brain rot for this one, so go ahead and equip that on any weapon of your choice. Go up to a cyst located in an Aether nest. Not sure why this doesn't work at an infested stronghold. It probably should. Maybe it's bugged right now for most players, or it's intended for whatever reason for you to only go to an Aether nest. You want to go ahead and shoot a cyst with brain rot, and you'll notice that the cyst will turn green. What you want to do is maybe throw a decoy or get the zombies off your back, have your team help you. What you want to do is collect the sample from that cyst, and once you interact with that cyst, what you now want to do is complete the rest of this Aether nest. And I've seen different different things for different people. I had to actually complete the nest in my match for the pill bottle to then spawn on that cyst. Other people are claiming and have shown footage and proof that you only need to interact with the spore and then it'll give you the pill bottle that way. You don't have to complete the rest of the Aether nest. Kind of a different experience for different players, but that's just the way zombies go sometimes. What I want to do is find another Aether tear similar to what we just did somewhere around the map, go through it, and you'll now see another colored rift as you are gliding. This one will be green, and once you fly through that one, same thing, it'll spawn a purple bounty contract. You'll then find a special elite enemy wherever that bounty is, knock him down, and it'll then give you a golden version of the pill bottle, right? So we previously picked up a purple version from that cyst. Now we have a golden version which could be placed on a certain pedestal. Now last but not least, you need a dog collar. This one's a bit different. You don't actually need an ammo mod to go ahead and pick this one up. You would think you need napalm burst, but you actually don't. What you want to do is go up to any one of the dog houses around the environment, and you want to go ahead and deposit one piece of flesh and one Molotov. You get a piece of flesh from destroying enemies with explosives, running them over through the escort contract, or maybe sometimes you just randomly see a piece of flesh drop from a zombie. It happens. You need to pick up just one piece and have one Molotov, which you could of course spawn in with or find in random chests. Once you deposit both of those items into the doghouse, it'll then spawn an enemy dog in which you can go ahead and kill him. Once you do that, it'll drop a dog collar. But again, this is a purple version of the dog collar, not the golden one that we need. So the next step is finding an Aether tear. Once you jump through that portal, it'll then spawn in a red Aether tear in the air while you're gliding. Jump through that one, it'll spawn a purple bounty contract, kill the bounty, and it'll then drop a golden version of this dog collar. So now you can go ahead and place all 4 legendary artifacts. Again, the diary goes on the brain rot pedestal, the security camera goes on the dead wire one, the pill bottle goes on the brain rot pedestal, and the dog collar goes on the napalm one. Once doing this, a massive dark Aether rift will appear with an HVT mega abomination that you have to kill. Defeating the mega bomb will spawn in a reward rift with 1 sigil. You want to then use this sigil, or one person on your team has to use 1 sigil on this portal here, and it'll spawn you into the dark Aether. Again, only one person has to use one of their sigils. 3 other players on your squad, or however many players that you have, can save theirs for later. You've now entered the dark Aether yet again, which is separate from that Act 4 mission. You have half an hour to go ahead and have fun and explore in this new map. Of course, it's the Albagra Fortress reskin here for MW3 zombies, but there are 3 contracts you can actually do while inside of the dark Aether, and you can activate those contracts by finding Mr. Peaks, or the bunny, which is located, I believe, in some fixed locations around this environment. I haven't played the map enough to know for sure, but we did see the bunny spawn in the same spots in both games that we played. You'll see one on the left side of the map, one towards the center, and one towards the right. I'll try to show all the locations on screen, but I'll also go ahead and pin a comment down below if more spawns are found for Mr. Peaks. We know there's one just sitting on a roof somewhere, one on a bus, and one just laying around that I think will be pinged in the gameplay as you're about to see. You can also hear Mr. Peaks laughing and wimping at you throughout the match if you're close enough to it. You can use depth perception to also see him through walls, which is relatively helpful. And what you'll go ahead and experience when you actually interact with Mr. Peaks is 3 different contracts. It'll either be an Outlast, it'll be a Escort, or even a Spore Control. Now the zombies feel like maybe tier 2 level, similar to the Act 4 story mission, nothing too crazy, but it's still a challenge, right? You'll get even more special elite enemies spawning around the environment, and essentially as you go in to complete these contracts, you'll get some pretty rewarding rifts with a bunch of goodies that you're definitely going to want to have. So you're going to be seeing acquisitions, golden armor plates, possible dog bones which spawn in a friendly hellhound, ether tools, crystals, maybe even wonder weapons, but most importantly, you're going to find elder sigils inside of these reward rifts for doing these contracts in the dark Aether. Those are going to be important for later, so keep note of those and make sure you stash them in your backpack. Hopefully by this point you have at least a medium or a large backpack to store as much as you can, because you're going to find a lot of great rarity loot inside of this dark Aether experience. Now once you've completed the contracts in the dark Aether, or if you decide to just exfil at any time because it's too difficult for you, or you're just tired of being in the environment, you'll go ahead and find an exfil pillar either on top of one of the main buildings towards the center of the map, or you can even find one underground. I'll try to show footage of both exfils that we went through in our experience. You of course have half an hour to just explore and have a good time here in this environment, and if you want to go back in at any time, you just have to go ahead and deposit 1 sigil that you found earlier into that rift over in Urzikstan. But hopefully by the end of your run of the dark Aether, you've picked up at least 1 elder sigil, hopefully multiple, so you can experience the hardcore version of this map, which we're about to break down. Now if you go ahead and complete at least 3 contracts inside of the regular dark Aether, you will unlock the Geode MCW blueprint with a purple dark Aether theme. I'll put footage on screen of the blueprint so you can see. There is a pop-up, to my understanding, when you complete at least 3 contracts in here, which will unlock this blueprint for you. It comes with some pretty cool attachments, and I just think it's cool to be rewarded with something more than just a sticker or a calling card or an emblem. When doing something difficult like this, you get an actual blueprint here on top of the other rare and valuable items that you can bring into your next infill. This was great to see. But now, when it comes to the hardcore Dark Aether experience, this is what you call the Elder Dark Aether experience. What you want to do is just deposit an Elder Sigil on the other side of the rift, right? On one side, you deposit a regular sigil. The opposite side, you could deposit an Elder one. Once you're prepared, and I want to stress this as much as I can, you want to make sure you are absolutely prepared more than you've ever been in your life in a game of zombies. And please, please try to have a 6-man if possible. If you're going in with just 3 or maybe even 4, make sure you guys have the best possible loot in the world because things are about to get crazy. There will be tier 3 or what I consider tier 4 zombies even inside of this Elder Dark Aether experience. You only have 15 minutes to explore this environment, and the goal of being in this hardcore Dark Aether experience is simple. You want to complete those contracts again. You don't have to, but if you guys manage to find those Mr. Peak bunnies that are probably in the same spawns that you found them in last time, you will then go ahead and experience the Spore Control, Outlast, and Escort contracts yet again. Now, I will say Wonder Weapons really aren't on my list of recommendations for going into this Elder Dark Aether experience. Definitely not a ray gun, maybe a waft to handle some giant trains, but the Scorcher could definitely get you out of some situations, which is the only use I would see for it. Your secondary has to be a solid decked out meta weapon, whether it's the LMG, whether it's the pistol, maybe a crossbow, but I'm not sure about the VR11 because I haven't been able to use it yet, but you really want to have the best possible weapon when going in here because the zombies do take a lot of damage. Now, the cool thing is that each contract completion in this Elder Dark Aether experience will provide you with a bunch of new plans and schematics which just got added in Season 1. We're talking about the Dogbone schematic, the Golden Armor Plate, the Refined Ethereum Crystal, the Aether Blade, possibly even more. I know there's also secret rooms around the Dark Aether which I'll be covering in a separate video, but this is your chance to unlock some of the rarest items, schematics, and permanent builds inside of MW3 Zombies. It's right here in this Elder Dark Aether experience. Now, if you guys manage to complete 1 or 2 contracts, but you just don't have it in you to get a 3rd one done, or you guys start bleeding out, or you just have to go ahead and exfil, feel free to come in during a different game and just keep cycling as many contracts as you possibly can. Things are going to be rough in here. We're talking random mega abominations, a bunch of HVTs, crazy manglers, disciples, mimics, armored zombies that are transit super sprinters. I mean, everything you could imagine is difficult about zombies is inside of the Dark Aether here, at least everything from MW3 specifically. Things are going to get wild, but that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on my ultimate guide here for unlocking the Dark Aether inside of MW3 Zombies? We're talking the Act 4 mission with the boss fight, the regular Dark Aether featuring 3 contracts, then the Elder Hardcore Dark Aether experience featuring some of the craziest gameplay I've ever experienced while playing Call of Duty Zombies, right? The Season 1 update has been insane, and I can't believe that this is just our first major content update in our first season for this new type of open world zombies. But leave all your thoughts down below. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.